Is the team from Coleman School ready?
Yes!
Is the team from John Hay School ready?
Yes!
Are the loyal supporters of both teams ready?
Is the quizmaster ready?
Yes. So let's get on with the Post-Intelligencer KOMO television Quizdown.
In cooperation with the Seattle and King County Public and Parochial Schools, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer and KOMO Television bring you the 215th Quizdown. Today's program features teams from two Seattle public schools, Coleman and John Hay. Quizdown has 5th and 6th graders answering questions about their regular schoolwork. And now here's the man who asks the questions, Quizmaster Millard Ireland.
Thank you, and I'm glad all I have to do is ask them. Well, we're ready for another quiz down today. We're back with the Seattle Public Schools, and we have two very bright-looking teams all ready to go. I don't think it's necessary to explain everything that happens, so we'll start introducing some of the people who are going to appear on the show today. First, the alternates, and we'd like to have them stand so they can look at the camera and give it a big smile. The alternates for the Coleman School, will you please stand up? Dolores and Robert. It's Dolores Graham and Robert Hofert. Okay, I got it right that time, didn't I? Look at the camera and smile, Robert. That's the one. Thank you very much. And over on the other side of the room, the two students who serve as alternates for the John Hay School are Mark Adam and Penny Turley. Mark's in the 5th grade, Penny's in the 6th. And are you giving it a good look at the camera? That's right. These alternates have to step in the breach anytime something happens to a regular student, but we have a few other duties for them, too. So far, I don't think we've ever lost any regular team members during the course of a quiz down. You may sit down now, thank you. These alternates, as well as the regular team members, will all receive a bronze medal struck off by the Post-Intelligencer, especially for marking the appearance on Quizdown of each of these students. We've given away quite a few in the past 10 years. In addition to the bronze medal, which each of these students will have for their own keepsake, we also have their choice of two very fine prizes. First, the 20-volume set of the Book of Knowledge, which is on your screen right now. That's the children's encyclopedia, and which is certainly becoming more and more important in this day of science, and we're making a lot of emphasis upon it. In addition to the RCA, to the Book of Knowledge, we also have this 4-speed RCA Victor record player. Now, I understand that there's no contest as far as the prizes are concerned, because I think John Hay wants the record player, and I understand the Coleman would like to have the book. So we're going to go through the contest anyway for fun, even though we know who's going to get what. Normally, we let the winner take their choice of the prizes. Well, so much for prizes. We also have judges who determine which school has compiled the greater number of points. And in this instance, we have Mr. Willard Berg, who's been here before. Willard's a very good friend of Quizdown and has helped put us on his feet and keep it on the air. Willard is officially the Director of Public Relations for the Seattle Public Schools. We'll hear a little bit more from Willard later on in the program. Sitting next to Willard is Mr. Charles G. Caddy, the Managing Editor of Channel Magazine. And one way to get yourself mentioned in his magazine is to have him on your program. So we're very happy to have Mr. Caddy here. You've seen Channel, I'm sure, and this week we have a very flattering picture of Eleanor Bell and Millard Ireland, the Quizmaster, on the page number 4 of Channel. We recommend it to you carefully. I don't think you can see it, but that is the picture. Can you pan in and look at that? If I'd hold it steadier, maybe you could. Well, we don't look quite that good, but it's the general idea. Thank you very much. And now, that's all we need to know before we start playing Quizdown. I'd like to point out that these judges will award 100 points. Hey, I missed one, didn't I? Woo. Mrs. Clarence Prentice, and I missed a very important name. She's a grandniece of Asa Mercer, and a member of the Decatur chapter, the Daughters of the Pioneers. Certainly a very famous name in Seattle history. Very happy to have you here, Mrs. Prentice. So that completes our panel of 3 judges, and I don't think you could find a more distinguished panel anywhere. They will award 100 points for every perfect answer and any part of 100 points they think the student's answer deserves. And at the end, they will compile the total and tell us who has the most. All right, now let's get started with Quizdown and look at our first contestant, who I think will be Darwin Mitchell. He's in the 5th grade at the Coleman School. Let's find out just a little bit about Darwin. Did you live in Seattle all your life, Darwin?
No.
Where have you lived before you came here?
Weiser, Idaho.
Weiser, Idaho. Were you a city boy, or did you live in the country, or where did you live there?
Well, I lived right on the outskirts.
That is, you did do some farming and things there, did you?
Yes.
You ever milk a cow?
I tried.
What happened?
Well, it didn't hit the pail.
What did it hit?
My father was with me, and it hit the ground.
Didn't hit your father?
No.
Okay. Don't you think he's a very good instructor on milking?
Yes.
He just didn't have an pupil. Well, I would like to point out that when you see these pictures, people in the audience wearing signs, they're wearing the sign of the person who is they represent. Now, you're looking at Darwin's mother. Her name isn't really Darwin. That's your boy's name. And sitting next to her, on her right, is Darwin's father, the man who teaches little boys how to milk cows. All right, let's have your first question, Darwin. You know that during the Great Ice Age, New England was covered with a sheet of ice. Now, can you tell me what that did to the ground? How did it leave the ground there?
It left the ground rocky and hilly.
And rough. That's exactly what it did. That's a very good answer. That's 100 points. So we're getting off to a good flying start on Quizdown today. Now we'll get another fifth grader who this time is in the John Hay School and talk to Carol Leach, who's a fifth grader. How are you, Carol?
It's fine, thank you.
You have any trouble getting down here today?
No.
It's a beautiful day outside, though, wasn't it?
Yes.
In fact, there are things you might have enjoyed doing more than coming to Quizdown, aren't
I
you?
don't think so.
Oh, you enjoy this? Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. What do you want to do when you grow up, Carol?
Well, I'd like to be a teacher.
We need school teachers, and I'm glad to hear you say that. Do you do anything as a hobby or anything outside of school?
Well, I ice skate and swim.
You ever appear in any ice show?
Yes, I appeared in the ice parade for 2 years.
Oh, you did? You were in a group number, something like that?
Yeah.
How were you dressed?
Well, we had these long pink dresses on.
Did you have any
Last dress.
difficulty skating?
No.
Didn't miss a beat. What did you represent in the ice parade?
Well, we were planets.
Oh, you were a planet. And I suppose there were some Sputniks whizzing around you, weren't there? All right, Carol, very good. Here is your question. All you have to do is tell me why we remember the name of Roger Williams in American history.
Well, Roger Williams was the first one to, well, he founded the colony in Rhode Island, seeking religious freedom.
Well, that's a very good answer. He established a colony in Providence, Rhode Island, and he established the first colony with religious freedom. That's a very good answer. Thank you. And wasn't it nice of the audience not to give any help on that question? Now we'll look at the next contestant. We're going into the 6th grade now, so we'll talk to Leonard Huff, who's in the 6th grade at the Coleman School. And there is Leonard. Leonard, what do you like to do?
Well, I like to listen to shortwave radios.
Oh, do you have one?
Yes.
What do you listen to?
Well, I like to listen to amateurs and on a different band why sometimes we could get Boeing jets coming in.
Well, you like to tune in on that sort of conversation, do you?
Yes.
Can you get police calls?
No,
Why can't you?
because it's FM.
That's right. You can't get it on your regular shortwave receiver. Sounds to me like you're going to be a pretty good engineer. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes.
How many?
I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. One of my little brothers is in the hospital.
Oh, you have a little brother in the hospital?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's 2.
And
He's
what
in
hospital is he in?
He's in a group health hospital.
Well, what's his name?
Robbie.
Could you look that camera right in the eye that's looking at you and give Robbie a big greeting?
Hi, Robbie.
Wave at him. Do you think he's watching this show?
Yes.
Well, I hope he saw that because I think that'll do him a lot of good. All right, there are many good wishes for Robbie's health. Now let's give you your question. When you multiply 2 numbers, what do you call the answer?
Partial product.
Why do you call it partial?
Well, it's only part of the product.
Well, maybe there are only 2 numbers there then. Suppose you only had 2 numbers.
I mean, if there's 2 numbers in the
If I just gave you 2
multiply-
numbers to multiply, what would the answer be?
Oh, it would be a product.
That's very good. You seem to know more about it than was on the card. That's why I let you talk a little bit more. They didn't even mention partial product. I wasn't trying to give you a bad time, Leonard. I was just letting the folks see that you really knew what you were talking about. All right, we'll go to another 6th grader now, and this one will be Norman Alquist in the 6th grade at the John Hay School, and find out a little bit about Norman. What are your interests right now, Norman?
Well, I like to work with radio and television.
How do you mean work with them?
Well, sometimes when they don't work, I like to find out what's wrong with them.
And you know, the country's worried about where our scientists are coming from. I think we're giving it a pretty good answer right here on Quizdown. You want to be you like to repair television sets. Do you know how to repair one?
A little.
Well, how'd you go about fixing a TV set?
Well, it depends on what it's doing. If there's no picture, like one time.
One time your set just came up with no picture. Did it have sound?
There was just a raster. There was sound, and it turned out that the video amplifier was dead.
Is that right? How did you figure that out?
Well, I figured it would be in the video section because there was a raster, but just no picture.
That's a logical deduction, isn't it?
There was only one video tube in there, so we checked it, and it turned out to be completely dead.
You know, you might be teaching our technicians something about how to fix their own set. I think that's very good. Would you like to go into that sort of thing when you grow up?
Yeah.
What would you really want to be specifically?
Either an electrical or a chemical engineer.
Well, I think you're well on your way.
I can't decide yet.
In fact, you're ahead of some of them I know that are making their living that way right now. Here's your question. Your book tells you that the early explorers carried trade goods with them. I want you to tell me what trade goods were and what they were used for is what I want to know.
Well, when they met Indians, they gave them things like hatchets and knives and maybe a copper kettle or something to make friends with them. And the Indians gave them food and furs and things.
You've got all of the answer and more too. That's perfect. It's too bad we can't make these judges figure out what 9/13 of 100 are. But it looks like they're having an easy job so far. All right, now let's go to the 5th grade again. This time we'll talk to Jan Yoshida, who's in the 5th grade, over on the Coleman side of the room. How are you, Jan?
Fine.
Everything's all right. What do you like to do in your spare time?
I like to draw and read, and I take piano playing and dancing.
What are you going to be when you grow up then?
Pianist or dancer.
Oh, you'd like to be a pianist. And how long have you been studying dancing?
About 5 years.
Are you pretty good?
I don't know.
Well, did you ever perform for an audience?
Yes,
Did you get a big hand?
I guess so.
Then you're pretty good. That's the only way you tell. All right. Well, I think you'll be a very fine dancer when you grow up, Jan. Now this is a science question for you. I don't have any questions about dancing. I want you to tell me about poles of magnets and what they do to each other. Now, what do like poles do to each other?
They repel each other.
That's right. You got your science question answered right, too, as well as your art. So that's 100 points. Well, I can't stick 'em, so let's go on over to the 5th grade on the John Hay side of the room and talk to Suzanne, is it Weigel? Suzanne Weigel. Have you thought about the future, Suzanne? And what are you going to do when you grow up?
I'd like to be a housewife.
Oh, why?
Because I like children. I like to have a family of my own.
You like to have a family of your own, and you like children? Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Nope.
Maybe that's why you want them. But certainly you know some small children, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And you think they're nice. Well, suppose, though, that you decided for one reason or another to wait a while. How would you like to earn your living?
I'd like to learn how to work in a telephone company.
Why did you think of the telephone company?
My dad works there.
Oh, you think Dad will be able to give you a job if you need one?
I hope.
Dad may be out there trying to marry you off. I don't know. All right, Suzanne, here's your question. What kind of an engine burns oil instead of gasoline?
Diesel?
Diesel certainly does burn oil instead of gasoline. That's right. Well, it looks like we're going to have some good feminine scientists in the next generation or so, too, because the girls are having no difficulty with these science questions. Now let's talk to Christina. Chrysologo, I hope. Is that the way we say it, Christina?
Yes.
I was lucky that time. And find out a little bit about you. You're in the 6th grade there. How old are you?
12.
You're 12 years old. That's what most 6th graders are, isn't it?
Yes.
What do you like to do, Christina?
Well, I like to draw pictures of women and horses
Why do you select those two subjects?
because I can draw them the best.
Oh. There's a crack about women and horses in Kentucky, but I guess that hasn't got anything to do with why you selected those particular subjects. Do you ever ride a horse?
No.
But you still think they're lovely, beautiful animals, do you?
Yes.
All right. What do you want to do when you grow up?
I'd like to be a private secretary.
For any particular company or concern or person?
No.
Just so you're a private secretary?
Yes.
Why did you select that job?
From the television program.
Oh, called private secretary?
Yes.
On another network?
Yes.
It always happens to me. Okay. Well, she's a rather unusual one. Of course, she's a blonde. Do you think that'd make any difference in your career?
No.
Oh, probably not. All right. You know, you may have noticed that the early settlements in Canada were along rivers and streams. Can you tell me if there were any reason for that?
For the travel.
What kind of travel?
Going for the traveling up and down the streams and for trading, and so they could get also the goods from other countries.
Or from other areas. That's a very good answer. They used it for transportation. That's exactly right. It was a little difficult in the old days before we had such a fine network of roads to make your way through the wilderness. The river was the best bet. All right, now we're ready to talk to Robert Ham. He's in the 6th grade also at the John Hay School. Robert, what do you like to do?
Well, I like to collect models, especially models of old antique guns.
Most antique guns are old, aren't they? Do you have the real antiques?
Well, they're not real. They're models. They're
What you might call a replica, huh?
Yes.
Well, are they exact replicas? I mean, are they operating?
Well, only one of them is.
How many do you have?
11.
How'd you get interested in this?
Well, there's actually 2 ways. I asked my brother once to go up to the drugstore and buy me a model, and didn't have the model I wanted, and it came back with the model gun. Another time, this hobby show John Hay puts on, there's this boy who has this collection of old antique guns, real things.
I see.
Yeah.
So you sort of envied him then.
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I'd like to be an astronomer.
Are you interested in the space development or the space science?
Yes, I am.
You think in your time we'll get to another planet?
Yes.
Do you want to go?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you're not making any rash decisions. And looks like Robert's father feels the same way. All right, here's your question. It's historical. By the Treaty of 1713, which was at the end of the Queen Anne's War on this continent, what happened to Hudson Bay?
Well, let's see. Hudson Bay was English territory, and it was called Rupert's Land.
All right,
So-
but what in this treaty, what did they do about Hudson's Bay? Did the French keep it or lose it?
The French lost it.
That's the answer. France gave up all claim to that area. And again, we're getting more than we asked for on Quizdown. I don't think the issue's in any doubt here, but I'll let Mr. Caddy give us the final, the halfway score. What is it?
Well, it's a tie. 400 for Coleman, 400 for John Hay.
What's more, it's a perfect tie, and those are the best kind. So now we're ready to start on the second round, and that means we have our conference questions where everybody in one grade on each school gets together. So let's have our 5th graders for Coleman get together, which means Darwin, Jan, and Dolores. Just move up forward and kneel down between those two, Dolores, and have a conference on this question and tell me what the answer is. If you heated a quart of water and changed it all into steam, would you have more or less than a quart of steam? That's presupposing that you kept it. Would you have more or less than a quart if you changed water into steam?
You would have more.
Yes, you would. Do you have any idea how much more?
1,600
1,600 what?
quarts.
That's right. It's 1,600 to 1. And again, we're getting more than we asked for. And I didn't hear that help come from the audience either. All right, let's get a conference question among the fifth graders on the John Hay School and have Carolyn, Suzanne, and Mark get together for this answer. When you put gasoline in the tank of a car, it is a liquid. But in what form is it when it goes into the cylinder of the engine to be exploded?
It's a gas.
You call it a gas? Well, that's what the answer says here. I hope that none of our scientific technicians will take issue with that, because actually it's a vapor. But it is not in liquid or solid form as such, and for our purposes, we call it a gas. Thank you very much. That's a bright answer. So now we go into the sixth grade, and we're kicking along quite rapidly with no difficulty whatever. So let's get Leonard, Christina, and Robert together and ask them this sixth grade question. All you have to do is tell me what permafrost is or means.
Permafrost is the frost that stays in one place all year round.
Can you give me an example of where it is?
In the territories of Canada.
That's all I need to know. It's in northern Canada where it's always cold a few feet down. That is permafrost. So we're having a little difficulty slowing this show up today. Let's get Norman, Robert, and Penny together and see what they're going to do for us. This is a tough one. Which is more, 2/3 or 3/4 of a pound of candy? And a girl ought to know that when she grows up.
3/4.
That's right. You know it already, don't you? Well, we got more time than we know what to do with, but I have a guest here that's going to talk to us a little bit later on. So right now we're ready for our team question. And if I have been following this properly, the team question will decide the winner in this particular instance. So everyone go to the blackboard now and have the writers take up chalk. Penny will be writing for the John Hayes team, and Christina will be writing for the Coleman team. Now, you do not start writing until I give you the word. And I would also appreciate it if you would divide yourselves on either side of the board so the camera can look at the board and let the folks at home know what you're writing down. All right? Let's see what our team question is. It says, some of our best and most nutritious vegetables grow underground. In 2 minutes, or we may give you a little bit more time than that, see how many you can think of and list them on the blackboard. Now, we're talking about vegetables where the edible part grows underground. Now, only those spelled correctly count. You understand? Do you understand the question? Let's go. Remember, it's the responsibility of everybody on the team to see that the spelling is correct. You may change your spelling before I call time if you decide it's wrong. You have about 1.5 minutes now. It doesn't hurt to experiment. You can, an answer won't count against you if it's wrong. It merely doesn't count for you. So don't be afraid to write down something, even if you're a little bit in doubt about it or not sure you know how to spell it. Go ahead and try anyway. It won't hurt. I'll give you about 20 more seconds now. Five more seconds. Take your seats. That's time. Will the writers please stay at the board, and I'll have the Christina. Will you please read off your answers?
Carrots, potatoes, onions, turnips, radishes, and parsnips.
All right, now let's have Penny read off the answers for John Hay.
Carrots, beets, radish, potatoes, turnips, and rutabaga.
You tried to spell rutabaga, didn't you? Very good. That's a noble effort. All right, those are the answers. Now, while the judges are tabulating the final score, I'd like to talk to Willard Berg for just a minute. We have a lot of fond memories connected with Quizdown over the last 10 years. It was a long time ago when you first appeared on this show, wasn't it, Willard?
10 long years, Millard. 215 shows ago.
I didn't know they had that many.
You remember you and I and Eleanor Bell got together repeatedly and ironed this out with the promoters, and I could say that the schools have never been unhappy.
You have not regretted 10 years of Quizdown?
And only perhaps 1 year that KOMO wasn't down and another station was.
Well, we have cause for regret.
Is that the right thing for me to say?
Well, that's all right, Willard. It's certainly true. We did regret not having it at that particular year. We had 35,000 questions that first year submitted by school children here, and that caused a lot of work. But right now, there's somebody else doing a lot of work, Willard. What's that in connection with?
Millard, once again, and I'm afraid I have to say every year, the Seattle schools will have to come to the local level, the people of Seattle, for a special levy so that we can continue a good quality school system. Our funds just are not obtainable in sufficient quantity, amounts from the state, the local, and the county. We are in Seattle in the same boat that the rest of the state is. Everybody is coming to the people each year. You will probably recall that last fall there was a 3.5 mil election which was carried, and now there is one for 4 mills, which is half a mil more than the other, but what it amounts to, Millard, is that the 3.5 mils is carried over for another year, plus half a mil because of the increased enrollments and the rising costs.
So that means that we were only asking for another half mil in addition to what we are already paying to support our schools.
That's true, and the levy is on the March ballot, not the primary in February.
Right.
The election is March 11.
Is this a special school election then? This is the only issue on the ballot?
This is just one of 8 or 9 issues on the ballot. It is a special levy only in that it is more than the 40 mil allowance. Anything over 40 mils in this state has to be called a special levy, or
Now,
special millage.
In the last 2 elections, we've had a 50% success, haven't we, for the schools?
50, yes, we lost one and we won one. We lost one, we had 83% of the voters say, yes, we want this, but not enough came out to vote. And right after that, we went back to them again and asked again, and 86% came out, and about double the number required, and it was successful. So we do feel that the voters are backing their schools, and in these days, this is just no time to let down. Now we have the Sputniks, I hope, are a thing of the past, and we have explorers out there going around the world now.
And it looks like we've got some of them right here, Willard. Well, I think our time's getting away from us finally, so I'm going to ask Charles Caddy here to tell us what the final score is, if you've reached a determination.
The final score is a tie. Coleman, 700. John Hayes, 700.
That's a perfect tie. Well, we've had ties before, and we've had single perfect scores before. I'm not sure we've ever had a perfect tie before for a whole Quizdown, and I certainly want to congratulate these 2 teams today. They put on a wonderful performance. Please read about this tomorrow in the Post-Intelligencer, the story by Eleanor Bell with pictures, and we'll be back on the air again a week from today at the same old time, 5 o'clock, and until then, this is your Quizmaster, Millard Ireland, saying, school's out.
Quizdown is presented in the public interest by the Seattle Post-Intelligencer and KOMO Television. Next week, this program will feature 2 non-denominational Protestant schools, King's Garden and Seattle Christian. Quizdown was directed by Ed Lackton. For a complete listing and information on Channel 4 shows, read the current issue of TV Guide, on sale now. TV Guide, your guide to good viewing on KOMO Television, Channel 4 in Seattle. Join them.